there, everyone. Welcome to Live Interactive English. I'm Mike.
And I'm Kiki. Mike.
Yes.
Can you imagine?
No, I can't imagine at all anything.
Yeah, well, can you imagine something that only happens every 4 years?
Sure, the Olympics.
Okay.
Me taking a shower. No, I'm joking about that. The World Cup.
Okay, well, can you imagine?
Yes. No.
Somebody celebrating their birthday every 4 years?
Oh, now every 4 years. You must be talking about Leap Year Day, February 29th.
That's right.
Once every 4 years, there are 366 days in a year and an extra day in February.
Oh, can you imagine every 4 years you get an extra day?
Yeah, it's kind of weird, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's kind of a strange thing. Now imagine something even stranger. Imagine that is your birthday. You're born on February 29th in a year that you can divide by 4. That's how we count the leap years. But then you have to wait 3 more years without a birthday until another February 29th comes along. How weird would that be?
Does that mean that their next birthday, they're still 1 year old?
Oh, you only get 1 year older every 4 years. Wow, that would be weird. And do they not get presents for 3 years in a row until their birthday comes back?
I guess as
How does that work?
parent or as a friend, you save a lot of money.
You could save a lot of money. You could also have a lot of problems when you show your ID card. Because some people might say, February 29th, that's not a day. Because, a lot of people might forget that once every 4 years, it's the calendar's rarest day, February 29th. This is a real thing. We're not making it up. And we're going to be learning about it today and tomorrow. So let's check it out. This year, look at the calendar, and you'll notice February has 29 days rather than the normal 28. That's because 2024 is a leap year. In a leap year, which happens every 4 years, an extra day is added to the calendar. But why? Throughout history, different cultures have used the sun, the moon, and the stars to help keep track of time. Nowadays, most of the world uses the Gregorian calendar, which is based on how long it takes the Earth to orbit the Sun.
Today we are talking about the calendar's rarest day, which is
February 29th, of course.
Right.
Yes.
And that's something that happens every 4 years. Okay, so let's find out a bit more about this very special day.
All right.
This year, look at the calendar and you'll notice February has 29 days rather than the normal 28.
That's true. 28 is normal. February, shortest month of the year, 28 days.
Right. But this year, there's 29.
Interesting.
That's because 2024 is a leap year.
There you go.
In a leap year, which happens every 4 years, an extra day is added to the calendar. But why?
That is a really good question. Now, a lot of us might know about leap years in February. Oh, yeah, every 4 years we get an extra day. But why? Why does this happen? Who is bad at counting so that we have to do it this way? It's crazy. Well, there's actually a really good, fairly simple scientific reason. It says throughout history, different cultures have used the sun, the moon, and the stars to help keep track of time. Nowadays, most of the world uses the Gregorian calendar, which is based on how long it takes the Earth to orbit the sun, or to go around the sun one time. A lot of you know, yes, that is a year, right? The Earth spins, of course, by itself. That's a day. But then it's making a much longer journey all the way around the sun. And once we kind of get back to where we started, that will be 12 months, 52 weeks, 365 days. This is according to the Gregorian calendar.
Right. But Now, leap year, you add a day.
You add a day. We'll get to that. But nowadays, most people know this. Nowadays, most people actually just follow a calendar on their phone. But back in the old days, they actually had to figure this stuff out. We'll find out more about that. But nowadays just means now, the time we are living in. We usually use this when we're talking about differences from the past to today. In the past, a lot of people traveled by horse, but nowadays people use cars or buses, trains, or airplanes. So in the modern time, not necessarily today, this year, right now, but the time we live in. Nowadays, children are more likely to play video games than board games. Yes, that is a more common hobby these days, nowadays, in the modern times.
Okay, well, Mike, you talked about the sun going, the earth going around the sun.
Yes, it does that once a year.
It does it once a year. Right. So this is called an orbit.
It is.
Okay, and an orbit is a regular repeating path that one object in space takes around another. Okay, that sounds a little complicated, but Mike, you gave the example of the Earth orbiting around the sun.
It does that.
But we also have the moon
that's true.
orbiting around the Earth.
It does once a month.
So orbits, they move in different shapes, but in general, they are all elliptical. So what does that mean? It means that they move in a shape that is very similar to an oval, which is called an ellipse. Okay? So it just travels like that. Continuously.
Year after year after year. That is exactly how it works. And we're good. We're glad about that. Otherwise, we would go flying off into space and we would all die. Do you have an example sentence for the verb orbit?
The verb orbit is the moon orbits the Earth.
Ah, okay. Yes, we can also use an orbit as a noun to talk about planets having different shaped orbits or different orbits of different lengths of time. So there you go. Once around the sun every year, that should keep things nice and regular, but we still have an extra day. What's going on? A break, but we'll find out about that other thing after the break.
Hello， 大家好，我是 Hanny。同学们看一看今年的日历，就会发现2月有29天，不是平常的28天。这是因为2024年是闰年。那我们知道每4年会出现一次闰年，日历就会额外增加1天。可是为什么会这样呢？课文就写到啊，纵观历史，不同的文化都是利用太阳、月亮和星星来帮助记录时间。那如今世界上大部分地区都是使用公历，它是根据地球绕太阳1周需要的时间而定的。来看单字 nowadays， 它是副词，表示现今、如今。那么 orbit 这个名词，它表示天体等等它所运行的这个轨道。那当动词的话，就可以表达绕什么来运行，绕轨道运行。好，那 Kiki 老师在讲到运行轨迹时，他有用到 ellipse， E-L-L-I-P-S-E。ellipse 可以指椭圆、椭圆形。那它的形容词是 elliptical， E-L-L-I-P-T-I-C-A-L。 elliptical 则是形容椭圆的、椭圆形的。那这边3个重点，我们进入文法时间。好，我们来看第一个重点是 add A to B， 表示把 A 加到 B 里面。那么被动语态就是 A be added to B。举例来说 ，She added several items to her online shopping cart。她把好几件商品加到线上购物车里。好，那这边顺便补充一下 add up to 的用法。那么 add up to 第一个意思可以表达数量总计达到什么什么，一共是什么什么。像 their living expenses add up to roughly $30,000 NT per month。他们每个月的生活开销总计约新台币3万元。那第二个意思可以表达出加起来造成某种结果，总结是什么什么。例如 all of our life experiences add up to who we are today。所有的生活经验加总起来，造就了现在的我们。 好，那第二重点是 keep track of somebody or something， 这是表达掌握什么的状况或消息，追踪什么的行踪或进度。那么 track 在这边是指行踪轨道。例如 He watches the news every day to keep track of current events。他每天看新闻，掌握时事。那补充反义的用法是 lose track of 加名词，则是表达失去对什么的掌握，不知道点点点的最新状况。例如 Ben lost track of time while playing online games。Ben 玩线上游戏玩到忘记时间了。好，那第三个重点是 it takes time， 或者是 it takes somebody or something 加上 time， 后面再接不定词 to be， 这是表达某人或某事物需要花多少时间做某事。Take 在这边它可以指花费，像花费时间，或者是指需要的意思。那注意句型里面的 it 是虚主词，用来代替后面的不定词片语 to be。我们也可以把它写成 it takes time， 后面可以加上 for somebody or something， 之后再接 to be。我们看两个例句。It took him 10 years to complete the book。他花了10年的时间完成那本书。It takes about 30 minutes for the medicine to take effect。这种药物大约需要30分钟才会起作用。好，那接回到课文中。
So, why add an extra day to the calendar once every 4 years? Well, it takes around 365.25 days for the Earth to circle the Sun. But our calendar only has 365 days. That leaves roughly 6 spare hours each year. After 4 years, these add up to 24 uncounted hours, or 1 full day. To keep our calendar aligned with the seasons, that extra day is added to the shortest month, February. However, not every 4th year is a leap year. Years that are divisible by 100 but not by 400, such as 1900, are not leap years and have only 365 days, even if they come 4 years after the previous leap year. All right, we are back. So to recap basic science, the Earth orbits the sun once every year. That takes 12 months, 52 weeks, or 365 days, right? Right, usually. So back to the article. So why add an extra day to the calendar once every 4 years? It's true. Like this year, we have an extra day. We have a February 29th. If you go back to last year and look at the end of February, Mayo. It goes from the 28th to March 1st. So what is going on here? Well, it takes around 365.25. So 365 and a quarter, or 1/4, days for the Earth to circle the sun. But yeah, you back there, that you who's good at math, very well done. But our calendar only has 365 days. That leaves roughly 6 spare hours each year. 6 hours, 25% of a day, a quarter, 6 times 4, 24. There's your extra day. Once every 4 years, it's like having a little bit of money left over when you pay for your stuff at the store. It adds up.
This is really abstract.
Well, a little bit.
Kind of.
But it's just a little bit left over.
Okay, well, we have the vocabulary word roughly, which is an adverb, and it basically just means approximately
Kinda.
or not exact.
Sorta.
And like we sorta have 365 days, but it's actually 365.25.
Roughly 365, yeah.
Okay, well, sometimes roughly can also mean in a violent or angry manner, or to do something not very carefully.
Oh yeah,
okay?
don't handle that package roughly. It's filled with glasses.
Right.
Okay.
So let's listen to an example sentence. There are roughly 30 cars outside the building, but mine is the nicest one.
Ooh, very nice.
There's about 30 cars.
About, exactly.
There might be 31, there might be 29.
It doesn't really matter. This is just a close number. And we had at the end there, we had a, spare day. That's right. After about 4 years, we will have roughly an extra 24 hours, which will make for a spare day, an extra day, one that is not necessary, one that we didn't expect to have or don't usually have. But hey, look at that. There's another one just in case someone needs it or wants to use it. In a car, if you look in the back of the car where you put your luggage or a suitcase, you might notice a wheel, a tire there. That's called a spare tire. So if you're driving on the road and poof, the air goes out of one of the wheels or tires, you can change it with the spare. Another thing you might do, sometimes I like to have a spare Easy card in my wallet, just in case I lose one or my friend is with me and they don't have one. I have an extra one or a spare. In the winter, I always keep a spare blanket in my car. That's good advice, especially in cold countries. If your car breaks down, the blanket will hopefully keep you warm.
Okay, now I'm definitely not a math person, so all this leap year stuff is
0.25, a quarter, 25%. We have extra every year.
Okay, it's driving me nuts.
There it is, 25%. Then the next year, 50%. Then the next year, 75%. And then 4 years, 1 day.
I need to understand this more.
Okay.
Okay, so after 4 years,
4 years,
these add up to 24 uncounted hours. So the 0.25, they all add up.
6. Yep.
Okay, or it becomes one full day.
One day. Take
So-
those hours, 4 years, 1 day.
To keep our calendar aligned with the seasons, okay, that extra day is added to the shortest month, which is February.
Right.
So that way we don't get like June 31st.
June 31st, right, or December 32nd,
Right. So
or something.
we added to the shortest month,
There
which
you
is
go.
February.
Poor February. It only has 28 days,
Okay.
so once in a while we give it an extra day. However, not every 4th year is a leap year. Okay, this is hard. Years that are divisible by 100 but not by 400, such as 1900, are not leap years and have only 365 days, even if they come 4 years after the previous leap year. Why not? I'm confused now. I wasn't confused before. What's going on?
I'm really confused.
Well, let's focus on the word previous.
Okay.
We can worry about the English and not the math.
So previous is an adjective,
Yes.
and it's describing something that's happening or something that existed before something or someone else.
Okay.
Okay, so an example sentence would be, my previous house was much smaller than where I live now. So the house that I used to live is smaller now.
Okay, the one that came before
Right.
this one. All right, there you go. So we hope that this previous lesson that we're just finishing now about leap years has helped you. I think Kiki is getting a headache, so now's a good time to stop. Everyone go out, get yourself a calculator, find your math teacher, have them explain the math to you, and then we'll all meet back here tomorrow. And we'll talk about fun things like having a birthday on February 29th. One birthday every 4 years. Wait, that's not fun. That's not a fun thing, but we'll learn about it tomorrow, so we'll see you then. Bye-bye.
为什么每4年要在日历上面多加1天呢？这是因为地球绕太阳1周大约需要365.25天，但是我们的日历只有365天啊，那这样每年就大约多出了6个小时。4年后，这些加起来总计就会有24个小时没有算到，那也就是1整天咯。为了让日历和季节保持一致，这额外的1天就被加到最短的月份2月当中。不过呢，它还有一个规则，就是 可以被100整除，但不能被400整除的年份不是闰年。就像西元1900年，即使它的4年前是闰年，那1900年它本身并不是闰年哦，它只有365天。好，来看看单字 roughly 这个副词，它表示粗略地或是概略地、大致。那有一个意思相近的字是 approximately， 我们拼一下，它是 APPROXIMATELY，approximately 可以表达大概、大约。再看到 spare， 在这边当形容词是形容多余的、备用的。那 previous 它是形容之前的、前一个的。好，那以上这讲解，同学别走开，马上回来哦。
This year, look at the calendar, and you'll notice February has 29 days rather than the normal 28. That's because 2024 is a leap year. In a leap year, which happens every 4 years, an extra day is added to the calendar. But why? Throughout history, different cultures have used the sun, the moon, and the stars to help keep track of time. Nowadays, most of the world uses the Gregorian calendar, which is based on how long it takes the Earth to orbit the Sun. So, why add an extra day to the calendar once every 4 years? Well, it takes around 365.25 days for the Earth to circle the Sun. But our calendar only has 365 days. That leaves roughly 6 spare hours each year. After 4 years, these add up to 24 uncounted hours, or 1 full day. To keep our calendar aligned with the seasons, that extra day is added to the shortest month, February. However, not every 4th year is a leap year. Years that are divisible by 100 but not by 400, such as 1900, are not leap years and have only 365 days, even if they come 4 years after the previous leap year.
Here's how to play. The host will be holding 3 cards. Each card will have 2 sentences containing a secret vocabulary word or phrase that has been replaced by the word bear. The host will read the sentences out loud for the contestants to guess. Whoever guesses first gets a point. The person with the most points wins. And you can play along too.
Hey, I'm Josh.
I'm Carolyn.
And I'm Matt.
And today we're going to be playing Guess the Bear. It's going to be a very intense episode today. So are you guys ready?
I'm ready.
No holds barred. We got some tricky questions.
All right.
Let's see if you get them. All right. This one's a preposition. One word. David put his books bare his backpack. When it got too cold, all the kids went bare.
Inside.
Oh, yeah. How about that? How about that? David put his books inside his backpack. When it got too cold, all the kids went inside. Oh, man, I wouldn't even have got that. And I'm holding the cards. All right, noun, one word. The fairy fixed Mary's shirt with bear. How about that? Fantasy books are full of myths and bear.
Magic.
Oh, yeah. That's right. We've obviously got a believer in the arts over here. So now one word. The fairy fixed Mary's shirt with magic. Fantasy books are full of myths and magic. Matt uses magic to guess the game. Next one, phrase, 2 words. Sam really bears bear to the party. I'm bearing bear to getting to know you better.
Look forward.
Yes. This is amazing. Sam really looks forward to the party. I'm looking forward to getting to know you better. I'm looking forward to knowing how you do this.
Just, look forward and think about the answer.
That's some very good advice. I reckon we could both take a bit of that.